All right, so we're back. We're going to be taking a look at what you guys can look forward to coming up this week here in Sneakers, which actually features some pretty noteworthy releases. And for the most part, it appears that a lot of these shoes will be pretty easy to obtain, widely accessible, right? Including this weekend's big Jordan retro release. So if you're a sneakerhead, we got a lot of great news to get into. We're going to kick things off with last night as the LA Dodgers actually took home back-to-back World Series victories, which they defeated the Toronto Blue Jays last night, which I can't really tell you too much about the game, but as far as the series, apparently it went 7 games. So shout out to the Dodgers, the city of LA. Apparently they love their Dodgers, and rightfully so. Now what's interesting, what kind of relates here to the sneaker world, is Nike. They dropped this little promo congratulating the Dodgers, of course, which did feature Kendrick Lamar's record Squabble Up. Now to me, what's kind of crazy, right? Of course, we know Drake. Him and Kendrick had that big feud earlier this year. He's a huge supporter of the Blue Jays. And with Nike dropping something like this, you already know Drake, he's taking notes. He's real sensitive about everything. And as far as Drizzy, like, when's the last time he pulled up to the Nike campus, which he was known to pop out from time to time for appearances? When's the last time he mentioned Nike in a record? And even more importantly, when was the last Nocta Nike release? And do they have any more plans for future releases? Now, keeping things pushing, we're going to move over to Action Bronson, which it looks like his New Balance collaboration has just leaked, which let's go ahead and get right into it. This is the New Balance 1890, which after doing some quick research, apparently this is not a retro model from their back catalog, nor something that they currently offer as far as in their lineup. So as far as the last appearance of the 1890, the last time these sneakers popped up was actually during Paris Fashion Week of this year, where there was this kind of wallaby snakeskin version of this sneaker, which is kind of wild, right? How do we go from this to this? Which, based off the shoe, I'm not mad at what we see right here. I feel like with this sneaker, it's calm. The colorway, I feel like it's really wearable. And as far as the shoe, it's kind of like giving that retro runner type of vibe. So currently the narrative when you talk about Action Bronson is that like his sneakers aren't as hot as they once were, which I would disagree. I feel like after years of playing that scarcity limited availability game, they're now making the shoes a lot more accessible, and that's not a bad thing, right? But of course, you already know people always want something that they can't have. But as far as this next upcoming release, I'm rocking with these. I actually prefer these over the 992. That's just my personal opinion. And as far as release details, these 1890s apparently are supposed to drop sometime next year. So my guess is with the Action Bronson, we'll probably see them joints next year, as well as a bunch of other 1890s, which I guess will be kind of like one of the new big silhouettes that New Balance pushes coming up next year. And then moving over here to Nike, it looks like according to Soul Retriever, they have learned that Ma Maniére actually is going to be releasing a 6-pack from the While You Were Sleeping collection, all Nike Air Force Ones for the summer of 2026. Now, looking at this image, of course, which are mock-ups, like, when are they going to have time to literally drop all these pairs in just one summer? Plus, when you talk about Ma Maniére, a lot of people would criticize the fact that some of their releases, just like what we talked about with Action Bronson, aren't as hot as some of these pairs aren't selling out instantly. But based off the fact that they're now one of Nike or Jordan brands like premier collaborators as far as the output, the amount of collaborations, releases that they put out, I would say they're probably doing something right. And as far as all of these different pairs, with them all dropping in like one summer, maybe they'll do something as far as like city exclusive drops, because I feel like these shoes maybe wouldn't appeal as like a big, more general release. But if they were to make them a little more exclusive, hype them up a little bit, I think that would probably be the way to go as far as these pairs right here. So let me know what y'all think about those. As far as the next planned Ma Maniére Air Jordan collaboration, they're going to be teaming up on a pair of 6s, which is rumored to be releasing coming up this holiday season, and marks actually the return of the Jordan 6, which coming up next year is going to have a huge year as they celebrate the 35th anniversary from when that sneaker originally dropped back in 1991. All right, so let's go ahead and jump here into this week's releases. As coming up here on the 5th, we got the release of the Jordan 11 Rare Air, which based off this image right here, these are looking pretty nice. I definitely would say so. It continues the Rare Air theme as far as the blues, the reds. This one's got that pre-aged look. And then the unique element, of course, you got the Jordan on the eyelid. So craftsmanship, this image, I mean, these look nice. You got the high trim on the patent leather. Not mad at these at all. The only problem is when you talk about a silhouette like the Jordan 11, which is like so iconic. You know, this is the season where MJ went 72 and 10, bro, like 96, man. Like, these are crazy. But outside of like the OG colorways, a lot of these pairs are tough sell. And unfortunately, this shoe like just kind of gives me like flea market vibes as far as the colorway, which isn't always necessarily a bad thing. But based off this shoe, looking at numbers, pre-launch, we're a couple of days away from the release, and some sizes we see going slightly under retail, some slightly above, but based off stock numbers, these are pretty much going to be releasing everywhere you could think. But as far as the sneakers app release, according to Uncle Chrissy, he's reporting roughly around 39,000 pairs, which will be hitting just the sneakers app alone. So I feel like that's a lot of pairs based off the demand for a shoe like this, which I think online isn't going to have a huge appeal. But let's say for the people that aren't like chronically online, checking every sneaker, resale prices and everything like that, I think this is a shoe which would sell better, like stay in stores. Like just for example, if somebody was walking by in the mall and they saw these like in the window at like a Finish Line or a Foot Locker like that, I feel like they would be a good sell, you know, for a lot of OGs out there or whatever. So Jordan 11 Rare Air, let me know if you guys are rocking with those joints or not. And then coming up the following day on the 6th, we got these Stranger Things Nike Dunk, which apparently this low top version is inspired by this classic 87 pair. My guess is with Nike dropping these in low top form, they thought it would have a lot more appeal, you know, as far as the current crowd right here. But personally, I feel like the high top joints go a lot harder. Like, but then again, these do feature some details, which I guess, you know, are on theme with the show and all that. I can't really tell y'all too much about the show other than the fact that I guess they're going into the final season. But these are going to be $155 based off resale prices. Looks like they are kind of holding strong. Pre-launch, resellers will try to sell you on the fact that, you know, you're going to have people like Stranger Things fans, you know, bigger audience going for these shoes right here. But my guess, like, don't fall for it. I feel like once these drop, same deal with the retail prices and everything. And although they may not be dropping, you know, at a lot of different locations, I think resale is going to probably come down on these joints once they officially release. So we'll see how it goes though. Keeping things pushing here, we got to look here at the Eric Koston Nike SB Air Max 95, which Eric Koston, he joined Nike SB back in 2009. He's released his own signature sneakers, and now he's got his own Air Max 95, which is celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Air Max 95, featuring some updated skating elements, right? So these are pretty cool. These also do feature like a thick, kind of furry suede material. You got this tie script, which pays homage to his heritage. So there's some really cool elements in this shoe right here. Now, based off the resale prices currently pre-launch, it looks like these joints are already going for under retail, I guess in certain select sizes, meaning that based off the fact these are going to be hitting a lot of skate shops, we could have a lot of backdoor activity, pairs already being sold ahead of the release, which, you know, is a part of the game. But I feel like this shoe, although it's not bad, it's actually a really cool looking shoe. I think outside of like skateboarding fans, I don't think this one has like a big, huge general appeal to the masses. So if you were looking to get your hands on these, it looks like they shouldn't be too tough to go ahead and grab. And then as far as the big drop this weekend, coming up November 8th, we got the return of the classic Jordan 12 Taxi, which as we look at prices, this one's a little bit spooky. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like, prices are still hovering above retail. Again, we're a few days out from the drop. I'm hoping the prices continue to dip, but as far as this one, I know Jordan Retros as of lately haven't been doing too great as far as resale prices. A lot of these pairs have been sitting and all that, but this one's a little bit tricky. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain exactly why. Now, I know they're going to be dropping at a lot of different locations, several retailers, but what I'm kind of nervous about is the amount of pairs which hit the sneakers app, right? Because I know everybody can walk into the local shoe store and grab these, but for people like me who live in the middle of nowhere on an island, we have no access to these shoes, and a lot of time the online releases are the only way we can pick these joints up. And based off the sneakers app release, let's say Nike decides to make these limited via the sneakers app, right? My guess was that resellers would then go ahead and eat these up, probably buy them up on all the different online shops, making this sneaker a problem. So as of right now, prices are holding up pretty decent. Again, you know, we're a little ways away from this weekend's drop. Everybody's excited about the Travis Scott release and all that, but due to the fact that those have yet to be actually officially confirmed yet from Nike or Jordan Brand, I'm still saying that this is going to be the big release of the weekend, which everybody's going to be focused on. So we'll see how things play out. Again, the Travis Scott release, I think, will, you know, add into the you know, appeal of how difficult this shoe will be to get. We'll have to kind of wait on it, but as far as right now, things are looking a little bit spooky, so I'm just hoping that prices continue to dip down a little bit more. as we head into the weekend, because this is definitely one that I'm hoping to be able to cop with no headaches involved. So that's what we got to look forward to coming up this week. Let me know if you guys are excited for any of these pairs. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this quick update, you can help support the channel by smashing the like button, JATV. I appreciate you guys. If you've been enjoying the content and you haven't done so just yet, consider subscribing. Come along for the journey. We just hit 7K subscribers. I appreciate everybody. I'll catch y'all next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. Love.